I'd like to take a moment to chat with you and to say thank you for the many years you've given us as devoted listeners of 600 AM. However, we've come to a defining moment in Vancouver radio history, and in a few minutes, we must bid farewell to CKBD 600 AM. In May of this year, the Pattison Broadcast Group received approval from the CRTC to convert CKBD to an FM frequency at 100.5. The new station will be called The Peak, and it will be signing on very soon. 600 AM has been part of the Vancouver landscape for more than 80 years, and we would like to mark this very special occasion by paying tribute to this very special part of our history. Regrettably, time will not allow us to mention everyone who has passed through these doors as part of their radio career, but we would like to share some highlights and names you're sure to recognize. And now, a look back at the history of 600 AM.
Another important hire was Fred Latrimo, who gained a large following as host of the afternoon teen music program. In 1964, controversial open line shows came under the microscope of the Board of Broadcast Governors, or BBG. The BBG forced an ownership reorganization of CJOR. The ruling, released on September 23, 1965, caused the station to be turned over to local entrepreneur and auto dealer Jim Pattison and Vancouver businessman Ralph Cunningham. CJOR was the first radio station in the Pattison Broadcast Group, which has grown to include 29 radio and 3 TV stations throughout British Columbia and Alberta.
Have more fun without a doubt. Upstairs, downstairs, indoors or out.
This is the station you listen to most.
Wherever you go, we're your musical host.
Hi, this is Vic Waters. Throughout this summer weekend, CJOR Vancouver 60 presents more of the good music people enjoy most. And so that you can enjoy this music wherever you go, here's a reminder. Take us along with your portable radio.
So take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Other well-known CJOR hosts during the 1960s were Dave Cash, Rod Gunn, Stan Buchanan, International House of Music host Horst Kohler, Gary Gaudet, Cal Coleman, Jack Kyle, underground music pioneer Tim Burge, Ken Chang, Jim Holt, all-nighter Jerry Landa, Mel Christian, Clark Gray, Vancouver Sun columnist Jack Wasserman, Marlena Gale, Neil Soper, who was later program director and general manager, commercial producer Jim Tom, and Wilf Ray with the Sunday night gospel program. Funny man Monty McFarlane returned to host one of Vancouver's most popular morning shows. Here's a short sample of Monty.
It's Athletes' Day at the PME, so take a sweatshirt to lunch. The gates are open at 8 o'clock, and the Dairyland Storybook Farm is open at 10 this morning. Take the little ones there. It's great for the little kids.
News and sports continued in the forefront, with Jim Nielsen returning as news director and operations manager. Gordon Ross was appointed sports director, and Bill Good Sr. was heard reporting sports and voicing commercials. Early 1970s disc jockeys included Hal Weaver, John West, Mike Jackson, Douglas Miller, Jim Elp, Barry Godden, and Dave DeRogie, as full-service entertainment continued with the emphasis shifting away from music to news, sports, and talk shows. Noted program directors during the decade included Phil Roberts and well-known radio and TV personality John Barton. After an unprecedented run of 28 years, Town Meeting with host Arthur Helps left the air in 1971. Talk show hosts during the decade included Encounter and Sunday Line host Bernice Gerard, Chuck Cook, Reaction Line host Ed Murphy, Sun columnist Denny Boyd, former Progressive Conservative MP John Reynolds, Fanny Kiefer, Terry Moore, Mike Woodman, and Michael Campbell. During the 1970s, the CJOR newsroom took serious aim at its competitors, with distinguished news directors Maury Hesketh, Erwin Swangard, George Sillery, Bob Mackin, and assistant news director Dave Hankinson. Noted news anchors included Hal Rodd, Cam Scott, Larry Sell, Mike Dixon, Jack Benest, Bill Joyner, Kent Kahlberg, Frank Stanford, Jerry Gifford, and John Wilson, along with stock market reports from Chuck Gage and weather by Environment Canada meteorologist John Pashold.
It's mild enough now for rain, snow, of course, on the higher mountains, but rain, and gradually over the next few days we'll have a number of these systems coming in, all bringing their mild air, and that gradually moving into the interior.
The newsroom was backed up by a team of outstanding reporters, including Keith Hayes, Pam Glass, Bob Ireland, Richard Detman, Don Ramsden, Randy Taylor, Larry Stone, Greg Dixon, David Lang, Eric Rankin, Neil Arnold, Bud Bolton, Sandy Price, and Laverne Prosick. Sports was also at the forefront of programming during the 70s, with sports directors Jack Lee and John Sykes, along with prominent sportscasters such as Grant Kerr, Neil McRae with Blazer Report, voice of the Vancouver Whitecaps Ian Michaud, Whitecaps color analyst Gary Rabel, horse talk host Tommy Wolski, and sports show host Joe Crozier. Lively and informative talk shows continued on CJOR into the 80s, with hosts such as former Social Credit Cabinet Minister Rafe Mayer, controversial interviewer and editorialist Doug Collins, Art Finley, Solutions host Nadine Berger, a little burner in the night host David Berner, Peter Weisbeck, home renovation specialist Shel Buzzy with his Mr. Build program, former Premier Dave Barrett, Bob Spence, the return of Dave Abbott and Barry Clark, Heartline with Jamie Hart, Levy Line with financial guru Michael Levy, and programs with Carrie Grace, Bill Williams, and Don Hamilton. To provide expanded facilities for its diverse programming, CJOR moved to new studios at 1401 West 8th Avenue in October 1983. Other talk show hosts who entertained and informed CJOR listeners during the 80s included Jackie Underwood, Wayne Cox, lawyer and provincial court judge Charles McLean, and fill-in hosts Richard Hughes and Lynn McNamara. George Madden, who was VP of Corporate Communications for Expo 86, became manager of the two stations following the fair. CJOR continued to excel in news coverage with the familiar voices of Duncan Spite, Phil Mackesy, Ingrid Abbott, Michelle Gibson, Jim Benny, Jim Goddard, and Debbie Pelche, under the leadership of news director Tom Mark. News reporters included Catherine Banwell, Gordon Johnson, Lorna Haber, and John Kendrick. CJOR continued to be a significant choice for sports information, with the debut of Dan Russell's Sports Talk, Brooke Ward, John Good, and the move from CKNW of controversial sports reporter Big Al Davidson. Just before noon on September 2nd, 1988, a major programming change came about as CJOR announced that it was dropping its mostly talk format. A farewell show was hosted by Fanny Kiefer. Here's station manager George Madden with the CJOR sign-off.
And it's been said that the only thing constant in radio is change, and such is the case today. So, for a very last time, you're listening to CJOR Vancouver.
A new era dawned at 12 noon, September 2nd, 1988, as announcer Bob Morris welcomed listeners to Classic Rock CHRX. The new sound was celebrated with a 90-hour commercial-free music marathon starting with Bob Seger's Old Time Rock and Roll.
Thanks for listening, and enjoy our 90 hours of continuous commercial-free programming from now till 6, Tuesday morning.
Vancouver's Classic Rock, AM 600, CHRX.
For the next 6 years, Vancouver listeners were treated to the best classic rock, augmented in 1993 with a sports flavor. Personalities included Tom Lucas, Joe Leary with co-host Rochelle Rocket Dentry, John Tanner, Samantha Vega, Jerry O'Day, Reverend Rock J.B. Shane, Daryl A. Bear, Darren Greaves, comedian Glenn Lamont, Lisa Marshall, Russ Hamilton, Rob Barrage, Janie Ferris, Daryl Braithwaite, Mark Patrick, Steve Herringer, and Mike McCoy. News anchors and reporters included Squire Barnes, Larry Sell, and Brian Lord, while Dave Pratt hosted Sports Machine. Other voices heard on CHRX included Deborah Donahue, Jody Vance, Bruce Williams, Neil Foisey, and Phil Kushner. As mainstream music was progressing more toward the FM dial, another format change took place at 6 p.m. on January 7, 1994, as CHRX Classic Rock signed off with Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, followed by the sound of ocean waves and Christian music medleys. Here's Jerry Siemens introducing the station's new contemporary Christian format.
In a few moments from right now, CHRX will sign off the air permanently. Of course, every ending means another beginning, and starting at noon on Sunday, a brand new radio station will take over this frequency. Its call letters will be CKBD, but its nickname will be The Bridge. It will be Canada's first contemporary Christian music station.
Then at noon, January 9th, 1994, CKBD, The Bridge, made history and officially signed on as Canada's first contemporary Christian station, with Awesome God by Rich Mullins.
Our CKBD, but our nickname will be The Bridge. And it all starts Sunday at noon, 600 a.m. The Bridge. Listen, you'll get the message.
Rob Cusack hosted the morning show on The Bridge for the next few years. He was replaced by the station's program director, Dale Wolfe, and eventually local contemporary Christian music artist Connie Scott would join the morning show as a co-host. Gord Eno joined the station in January 1994 as production manager, and then became program director shortly after Jerry Siemens became general manager. During this period, Campbell McCubbin became the news director, joined by Elaine Scollin. Then on July 31st, 1998, CKBD The Bridge ended its contemporary Christian programming in favor of an adult standards format as 600 AM, unforgettable adult favorites, as we know it today. During the last 10 years, musicologist Big Daddy Dave McCormick was heard regularly, as were Ian Power, Gary Thomas, Crystal Darsh, Rue Phelps, and Mark Patrick. Memorable Vancouver broadcaster Rick Honey hosted mornings during 2000 and early 2001. Followed by Tom Jeffries, and then current morning man Bob Say. Jack Marion joined the newsroom, and the morning show was rounded out with Dr. Sport Greg Douglas. The 600 AM morning show went to a new level with the addition of veteran broadcaster and traffic reporter Sean Webster, who acted as Bob Say's co-host for many years. Rafe Mayer, who hosted a talk show on CJOR during the 80s, returned to 600 AM to once again host the Rafe Mayer Show in 2003 and 4. Featured specialty programs on 600 AM have included Joy's Journal with Joy Metcalf, Dal's Place with Dal Richards, Wilf Ray's Sunday Night Gospel Music Show, Dave Abbott's Travel Diary, Vancouver Flavors with Jurgen Goth, Managing Your Wealth with Ray and Chad Ekron, The Fred and Jerry Home Improvement Show, Gardening with Brian Minter, It's Your Money with Fred Snyder, and Radio Real Estate with Tom Lucas and Don Goodman. And that is a look at 84 years of radio history on what we know as 600 AM today. It's now time to say farewell to a great lady of the airwaves. In a few minutes, a new station will arrive on the air in Vancouver, and it will be known as 100.5 The Peak. We leave you now with one final song and say to our listeners, clients, and friends, thanks for the memories.